I transplanted my tomatoes a few days ago, and as you can see, they're falling down and not standing upright. When they're falling down, they're more susceptible to diseases and pests. So today I figure it's a great opportunity to show all of you guys how to prune and tie your tomatoes in 10 minutes using the string trellis method. So the first thing you want to do is set up your string trellis system. And I haven't got mine up yet because I just recently put this trellis in. So today I'm also going to show you how to make one yourself. The supplies you need to make your own string trellis system is some twine from Dollarama and some 1-inch screw that you could get from Home Depot or any other hardware store. And some tomato clips, which you can get off of Amazon. And a drill to screw the screws into the wood. The first thing we are going to do is to screw a screw into the bottom of the wood along at the side of the stem. We're going to screw it halfway so we can put the string around it. Now that we got a screw at the bottom, we are going to now put one of these hooks at the top. We're putting this hook right above the screw that we screw in at the bottom. If it's a little hard, you could also pre-drill to get it started. Now I finished the rest. We are now going to use our twine and tie a knot up at the top. Come in right at the screw, and I'm going to leave about 1 foot extra. And then I'm going to cut it right here. I'm going to wrap about half of that extra around here. And then I'm going to leave this twine a little slack. And then take a drill and finish drilling in the rest. And leave that there. We're leaving that 1 foot extra because tomatoes plants can grow really tall past the trellis. And my own is only around 6.5 foot. But depending on your climate, tomato plants can grow 12 foot or more. So we can use the extra string to tie up the tomato plants. And now with our string, it's a little slack. We want it to have a little tension. So I'm now going to just wrap the excess twine around the hook. And now my string have a little tension to it while also being a little slack. We want it to not have much tension. Otherwise, when the wind blows on the tomato, it won't be able to move freely and may cause too much stress on the tomato plant. I'm going to be now showing you how to tie up your tomatoes on the easy plant over here and not on the fallen one, so you could see the process a little easier. On the tomatoes, you have the main stem, and then going up, you have leaf nodes coming out at the side. And then as you move on up, you have flower clusters that form along the side of the main stem. And then you have suckers, which grow at a 45-degree angle between the main stem right over here and the leaf node. These suckers would be its own fruit producer or its own side stem. You don't want too much main stems because the root ball can only support so much stems off a tomato. And the more suckers you have and more stems you have, the slower your fruit will grow and the slower your fruit will ripen because it's trying to do a whole bunch of things at once. Now that you know the parts of a tomato plant, we are going to tie only the main stem because one twine can only support one stem. I'm using these tomato clips here, and they come in so handy. You could use them for cucumbers, beans, or anything that needs a trellis to grow up, especially tomatoes. So you want to come in right here, and you see there's like a groove in the middle. You want to come in and put the twine inside the groove in the middle, and then attach it right in between the main stem and the leaf node. I'm going to also do one at the bottom, right here. It grow too tall for the cups and then it end up flopping over. But you could still fix that. We're going to put one at the bottom here to hold it. Then we want to try bend the stem slightly to try straighten it. and there's a leaf here. And the good thing about these tomato clips is that they could be recycled. So after you're done using them, you could then use them somewhere else. There we have it, a nice looking tomato. Now I'm going to finish up the rest of the trellis and tie up the tomato plants on the strings. So I managed only getting half of the trellis done because I didn't have enough string to finish the other side. These tomato clips are so good at trellising your tomato plant and fixing any bend. Now you could see this tomato plant look almost straight. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to get yourself some of these tomato clips. Sometimes you might get a tomato that's split into 2 stems. So all you have to do is run 2 twine up here and trellis 1 stem on 1 twine and the next stem on the other twine. Now just tying it up isn't enough. You also gotta prune your tomatoes. And you want to use some clean shears when pruning. I cleaned them with some rubbing alcohol, but you could also use some hot soapy water. Now back on the other trellis, with pruning, you want to remove these suckers because they take up too much energy like I mentioned before. So you just want to come and cut it. Now if your tomato plant only have 1 stem, you can leave a sucker or 2 to continue growing and then attach another screw and trellis that sucker up. So I think I'm going to leave this guy right here. And there's another one right here. I'm just gonna cut that. Then another one right here. And here. And sometimes you could just use your finger and break it off. Now after you remove the suckers off your tomato plant, the pruning job isn't done yet. Because you still have to remove the bottom 6 inches of leaves. So when you water, it won't splash and spread any soil-borne diseases onto the plant. We're not going to remove 6 inches yet because these tomato plants are still small. And if I remove the 6 inches of leaves, then it wouldn't have enough solar panels to grow faster. So I'm just going to only remove 1 leaf here. You also want to remove some of these leaves here that look like they could have a disease. You're gonna go like that, cut it off, and that one here, that one too, and that one here. I'll just cut the whole stem off, makes it easier. Now we have, and there's 2 more leaves here I'll cut, and there we have it. Nice tomato plant. You also want to make sure you remove these away from your tomato plant so it won't spread. This is what the tomato plant looks like before, all flopping over. And then compared to the other side, it's all nice and trellised. No leaves touching the ground, and so much more airflow. Now you have to keep on top of pruning the suckers over the whole season, because if you don't, your tomato plant will get wild on you. So make sure you come back every 4 to 7 days and remove any suckers you see and any dead or infected leaves. Thanks for watching. Bye!